Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday Westside Wellbeing with myself, Jamie. Today we are going to be doing a circuits class. To start with, we're going to open up the stance nice and wide, point the feet out at 45-degree angles, and we're just going to start to hinge forward at the hips, keeping the torso nice and level, and then lifting it all the way back through. Just find that range. Nice and steady, nice and controlled. So we're just starting to lengthen into the hamstrings and the adductors that run on the inside of the thighs, and just starting to mobilize through the hip joints and the hip flexor muscle that live right just where my hands are. And we're just going to go for 3 more. For 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Lovely stuff. So what we need to do is turn your toes in, then turn your heels in, and from here we're just going to bend down and lean to one side, bring it back into the center, and then take it down to the other side. Then from here we're just starting to lengthen through the adductor on the straight leg, and just contracting into the calf on that bent leg, and again just working through the range of movement within the hip joints. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. So we're going to close the stance in. From here we're going to stretch into our quadricep muscles. So we're going to lift the right leg, take hold of the foot, and start to squeeze that in towards your glute. By all means, feel free to take the arm out nice and wide for that little bit of extra balance, or utilize a wall or a chair, or possibly if you're doing this workout with someone else, feel free to take hold of the shoulder of the other person, just so we're nice and steady, nice and balanced. We can get that nice full stretch down the quadricep muscle. And we're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. We'll rest that leg. We'll take hold of the left foot, and again just lifting that heel in towards that glute, trying to keep the torso nice and long, nice and elevated. And again, a few options just to find that balance, he says as he takes his arm out looking for balance. Lovely stuff. Good, and we're just going to hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll rest that down. We're just going to start to swing the arms from back to front just to loosen up into the shoulder joints. And then we're going to swing them back the opposite way, just making kind of circles with those arms into the center line of the body. Lovely stuff. From here, we're going to take the right arm across the torso and just start to squeeze into the arm just above the elbow, so we're stretching through the shoulder a little bit into the tricep. And we'll rest that up. We'll take the opposite arm across the torso, just stretching into the shoulder and the tricep slightly. And we'll release that arm. From here, we're going to stretch into the triceps. So we're going to take the right arm, place it as close to the center of your spine as you possibly can, and then just take your left hand and start to squeeze behind the elbow. So we're really stretching through the tricep. And we're going to release that right arm, swing the arms around, and then take the left arm up, place it into the center of the back, and then just start to squeeze through that. I apologise. The microphone's jabbing me in the throat. And then squeeze behind the elbow on the left side, stretching into that tricep. Lovely stuff. And release. Give the arms a little shake, give the legs a little bit of a shake, just so we can start to mobilize through the hips, give the quads a bit of a shake, shuffle the arms around a bit, and we're going to go into our first exercise So first exercise we're going to do today, we're going to mimic a slam ball. So what you do is imagine that you've got a weighted ball on the ground. You're going to squat down to pick that ball up, lift it above the head, and then slam it back down into the ground. Pick the ball up, lift above the head, and then slam it back down into the ground. Here we're really going to be working a lot of the legs, a lot of the shoulders, but I'll break down what we're working as we go into that movement. So we're going to set ourselves, we'll go for 30 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. So we squat down, pick that imaginary ball up, lift it above the head and slam it into the ground. So here really working into the hamstrings, a little bit into the quads and the glutes and the calves and the legs. And as we lift that ball, imaginary ball, up through the shoulders, and then really pretending to slam it back down into the ground, working through the triceps. We're going to go for 2 more. For 2 and for 1. Good work, everyone. Nice. We're going to take 30 seconds. Take a bit of water on board if you wish to. I'll try and make sure you've got some water around as we start to work our way through today's workout. So the next exercise we're going to go into, we're going to imagine we've got a kettlebell. We're going to close our fists and we're going to start to swing that imaginary kettlebell all the way up and over the head. So we'll set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Squat down, close the fists, and then just start to swing the arms in between the hips, just bringing them just below the fork of your trousers or jogging bottoms or shorts. This is where we're keeping the emphasis into the hamstrings a little bit more and really working through those shoulder joints. As we take the arms up and overhead, you're going to find your heart rate starts to increase. And we're going to go. I'm going to swing 1 more for 2 and for 1. And rest. Good work, everyone. We'll take 30 seconds. Whew. So, as you take anything up overhead, ultimately that's going to increase your heart rate because the length of your body becomes a lot longer. So the heart has to circulate blood around a larger mass of space. And ultimately how it does that is it starts to increase your heart rate. So we start to get into that cardiovascular zone. So the next one we're going to go into some standing oblique crunches. So just bringing the opposite knee in towards that opposite elbow. We're going to set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Just bringing that left elbow to the right knee, right elbow to the left knee, and just slowly working your way through that movement, not pulling through the neck or the head, just trying to get that contraction as much as you possibly can. Really working into the abdominal muscles here, into the oblique muscles that run down the side of the torso. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Take a little moment. Good work, everyone. So from here, we're going to go into some dumbbell thrusters. Feels like we're moving through them quick today, or imaginary dumbbell thrusters. So you're going to clench your palms. Imagine you've got a set of dumbbells. You're going to squat down, come out of that squat, and then press those dumbbells up and over the head. What I want you to do though, because we have no dumbbells, unless you want to use some dumbbells, feel free to do so. As you take it up and over the head, really open up the hands so we're lengthening through the forearms and the wrists. We're going to set ourselves in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Stance just outside shoulder width apart, working into the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, through the biceps, into the shoulders. As we take those arms up and over the head. Good, nice control, everyone. Let's keep that going. I'm going to go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. And rest, take a little moment. Take a bit of water on board if you wish to. So from here, we're going to take it into a battle rope movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to squat down, and ultimately I want you to just wave the arms up and down like you're working through 2 ropes in the hands. Whew, we're going to set ourselves. Today's going to be a good one. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring it down into that squat position, and I just want you to start working through those arms. Yeah, really keeping tension in the hamstrings and the quads here, working through the shoulders and the joints in the arms. Good, you're going to feel this one start to burn in the legs after the movements we've already done. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Whew, good work, everyone. Nice. Take a little moment. And we're going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to really increase the heart rate quite quickly today, and then we'll start to work our way in some slightly less intense movements. Just allow that heart rate to balance back out again. So what we're going to go into here, we're going to keep a little bit of emphasis into the legs in that static hold, but we're going to go into a bent over row. So what you're going to do is bend through the knees. Before you bend through the knees, what I want you to think about is taking those hips back in a straight line, and then naturally bend through the knees slightly, torso nice and straight. You're going to hold that position, arms are going to come down in front of you, and you're going to squeeze the elbows up past the torso, really working into the back muscles. I'm going to set the timer. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Take the hips back, bend naturally through the knees, torso nice and straight, and then just squeezing the elbows up in and beyond that torso if we can. Get that nice rotation through the wrists, the elbows and the shoulders. So we're working with the natural mechanics of the body as much as possible. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice. Stand up nice and tall. We'll take 30 seconds. From here, we're going to keep the emphasis more into the arms here. So we're going to go into a curl and press. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. I want you to clench the fists like you're holding some heavy old dumbbells. You're going to curl into the biceps, and then as you press up overhead, you're going to rotate through the wrists, through the shoulders, so the palms are facing out. Bring it back down, palms in, curl up, palms in, drive up, rotate, palms out. So we'll set ourselves 3, 2, and 1. We curl and press, and then come down and reset. Good, just giving the legs a little bit of a rest here, and by all means at the top of that press, feel free to open up through the hands, so we're really releasing the tension that way through the elbow joints and the wrists, and again just working with the natural mechanics of our body. We're going to go for 5, pop some cracks coming out of my shoulders, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice. Take a little moment, everyone. Feel free to take a little water on board if you wish to. As we keep working our way through the exercises, blasted through that first 15 minutes. Fantastic work, everyone. Lovely stuff. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to take it down onto the ground. So if you've got a mat or a comfortable space on the floor, I want you to bring it down onto the ground. And to start with, we're just going to go into some knee pull-ins, but from a bent leg position. Torso's nice and flat on the ground. Soles are placed on the feet, nice bend into the knees, and all we're going to do from here is you're going to lift the knee in, replace, lift the opposite knee in, and replace. We're going to set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knee in and replace. It's not a big movement, this. This is really working primarily into your hip flexors that are a connecting muscle that run up into your abdominal muscles and down into your quadriceps in the front of the thigh. Really good muscle to be developing. Really helps with the posture and that strength in transition from the upper body to the lower body. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. So the next movement we're going to go into, we're going to take the leg straight out in front of us. Left leg's going to stay bent, and this time you're going to lift the leg straight up and replace it back down. So we're going to set ourselves. We got 5 seconds. So we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. We lift the leg up, replace it back down. Lift the leg up, replace it back down. So again, really working through that hip flexor again here, but working it through more of a lengthened position. And as the leg's nice and straight, you're going to be lifting through the hamstring on the back of the leg as well, a little bit into that glute. Strong work, everyone. Lovely stuff. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest that leg. Nice. Bend that leg in. We'll straighten out through the left leg. Straighten out. We're going to strengthen through it through this movement. We've got 15 seconds to take a little moment. Again, that 30 seconds rest period is going to feel a little bit longer now. We'll lay down on the ground. Heart rate's started to decrease. So we're going to set ourselves in 3, 2, and 1. We lift that left leg and then replace it back down. Feel free to allow the heel just to touch the floor before lifting back up through that left leg. And really trying to point the toes as much as we can. So we're really lengthening through the hamstring and a small contraction into the calf as well. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. There work, everyone. Nice. Excellent work. We're going to take 30 seconds. The next movement we're going to go into, because we've put quite a little bit through the hips and the legs already, we're just going to go into a stretch. And we're just going to go into a bit of a hug position. So you're just going to place the hands behind the back of the knees. Feel free to interlock the fingers if you wish to, or keep the hands separate. And from there, we're just going to squeeze the knees just a little bit in towards the torso, just so your glutes start to lift off the floor slightly. So we'll squeeze into that stretch. And we're just going to hold it here for the remaining time of this 30-second window. Take a nice big inhale, nice big exhale. And we'll hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. We're going to bring the soles of the feet back down onto the ground. The next movement we're going to go into is a glute drive or a glute bridge. So hands are going to come down by the sides, soles of the feet are on the floor. I want you to drive your hips straight up towards the ceiling and really squeeze and engage into the glutes, and then slowly roll the spine back down onto the floor. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. We drive the hips up, squeeze into the glutes, and then slowly roll them back down. Drive up through the hips, squeeze into the glutes, and slowly roll it back down. We're going to go for 2. Again, nice and slow on those repetitions. And for 1. And slowly roll it all the way back down. Nice. We're going to take 30 seconds from here. We're going to do a second round of those glute bridges because they're nice and steady, nice and slow, nice and controlled. We're not going through that many repetitions, so we're going to utilize that movement and repeat it twice in here, just so we can get a good amount of repetitions in. Take a little moment, and we're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. We drive the hips up, squeeze into the glutes, and slowly roll the spine back onto the floor. Drive up, squeeze, and slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae till those hips hit the mat. Nice strong work, everyone. We're going to go for 2 more. For 2, slowly lower it down, and for 1, squeeze and release and roll down. Excellent work, everyone. Feel free to sit up just for a moment. We're going to take a little bit of water on board. So from here, we're just going to go into a few core exercises. So we're going to work into the obliques that run down the side of the torso. You're also going to get a contraction on each side of the abdominal muscles here, because we're going to go in some heel touches. So we're going to lift the head off the ground, chin in towards the chest slightly, hands down by the sides, and we're just going to slide from one side to the other. And as we're already in, time has started, so if you're set and ready and we're not already going, let's go for it. Just sliding from one side, keeping the arms nice and contracted into the torso, squeezing the rib cage from side to side, working into those obliques for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little moment. Focusing on your breathing. From here, we're going to go into some knee touches and slides. So we're just going to get that contraction into the abdominal muscles here. How we do that, we're going to lengthen the arms behind us, allow the hands to come down to the thighs, and then just squeeze the hands and slide the hands up towards the top of the knees. So we'll set ourselves. We're going to take the arms behind the head, work through the shoulders, hands onto the thigh, and slide the hands up towards the top of the knee. So all we're doing is just lifting the head, the shoulders, and the top of the back off the floor. We don't have to try and lift that whole torso into that full sit-up position. For me, this is a lot more beneficial because you're really keeping that contraction into the abdominal muscles and then lengthening through the stomach wall. As you take the arms back, we're going to go for one more. Squeeze and rest. Good work, everyone. Nice. We're going to do one more core exercise, then we'll bring it back up onto the ground. So this time we're going to go into some knee pull-ins. So we're going to extend the legs out in front of us. Hands are going to come down by the side, pitch them out to the side slightly so you've just got that balance. We're going to lift and pull the knees in and then extend the legs back out. We're going to set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Feel free to lift the chin in towards the chest just to get that little bit more contraction into the abdominal muscles. Either keep the heels hovering off the ground or feel free to set them on the ground in between each repetition. Strong work, everyone. Nice. 10 seconds. So we're going to go 5, for 4, 3 more repetitions, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little moment. Feel free to take a bit of water on board if you wish to. And we're going to bring it back up onto our feet, just so we can start to let the blood flow back through the body as we continue into our workout. We're going to take a few breaths here just to catch our breath slightly before we start to transition into some squats. So we're going to set the feet just outside shoulder width apart. Feel free to bring the arms out in front of you for that balance, or I like to bring my hands into the center of my chest, and we're just going to hinge straight down at the hips and then lift it all the way back through. We're going to set ourselves and we're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Just slowly lowering the hips down towards that knee height if we can. Again, because we've got the stance just at shoulder width apart, you're not going to be able to get that full depth without the weight. We can get there if we open up the stance a little bit wider. I'll tell you what, we'll do that after. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little moment. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop that exercise in. So what you do here is really open up the stance nice and wide. So nice and wide outside of the shoulder width apart. Turn the feet out a little bit more, close to 45-degree angles. And we're going to do that same squat movement. I just want you to think about sinking the hips down and lifting back up through the hips. We'll set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. We can take the arms out nice and wide, or we can bring them into that center. Again, as you can see now, because we've opened up that stance, we're able to get that little bit deeper into that squat, starting to utilize the hamstrings and the glutes as well as the quads, working our way through that movement. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice, good work everyone. Take a little moment. We're going to go into some calf raises next. So what to do, we can do this from the ground. Feet shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit narrower. And all I want to do is just lift up onto the tiptoes and then slowly lower them back down. You can rock back onto the heels slightly, just so you're lengthening and contracting through the calf, sorry. But just be careful if you are rocking them backwards and forwards. You can do this touching onto a wall or just that little bit of support. So we're going to set ourselves and we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. We lift onto the toes, sink the heels back down. Or we lift onto the toes, keep that momentum, rock back onto the heels, lift onto the toes. Rock back onto the heels, lift onto the toes. You can vary between these two movements. Do a few rocking backwards and forwards, and then just go back into that standing lift through the toes. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Excellent work everyone, nice. Take a little moment. Take a bit of water on board if you wish to. We're probably going to take like 45 seconds here, to be honest with you. We've increased the heart rate. We've worked through the body. So we're just going to allow ourselves a little extra opportunity just to allow the body to gather its thoughts. Allow the heart rate to decrease slightly before we bring it back up. So next one we're going to go into some squat around the worlds. This is where the arms are going to come above the head. As you squat down, you're going to bring the hands behind the hamstrings. I don't want you to try and touch your fingers because that's going to force your knees in, and that is not what we want to be doing. I just want you to find that nice natural rhythm, just allowing the hands to sink underneath the thighs. We'll set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Obviously the feet just outside shoulder width apart, and we're just working through the legs, the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings, working through the shoulders, primarily your side delts, as we lift the arms up and over into the trapezius muscles as well that support the neck. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Good work everyone, nice. Heart rate's increased a little bit again. So from here we're going to keep it in the legs a little bit more. We're doing quite a lot of leg stuff today. We're going to take it into some lunges. We're not going to go alternate lunges. We're going to do one side at a time, so we'll do 2 sets ultimately. What we're going to do is we're going to take the left foot out in front of us onto the tiptoes on the right foot, and then we just sink the hips down, lift the hips up, trying to create those right angles through the legs. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. And nice. So just feel free to bring the knee all the way down onto the ground if you wish to. Really working through the quad muscles here. Calves nice and engaged on that back leg. Squeezing into that glute as well on that back leg. We're going to go for 2 more. For 2 and for 1. Excellent work everyone. We're going to switch it, so this time the right leg's going to come forward. But take a moment. We've got that 30 seconds, remember. We've still got a good 15 seconds. So we're just going to slowly start to set ourselves. Right leg comes forward, left foot goes back onto the tiptoes. Oh, we've got 5 seconds, so we'll set ourselves in 3, 2, and 1. Sink the hips down, lift the hips up. Sink the hips down, lift the hips up. Good, just keep that going through that range of movement. Really working into those quads, into the calf and the glute on that back leg. feeling the burn into the upper, lower body. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. And rest, everyone. Whew. I hope my legs are feeling this one today. Feel free to take some water on board. Take a little moment. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic afternoon, maybe morning, maybe evening, depending on when you are joining us for this session today. Hopefully the weather's slowly starting to change as well, which is fantastic. Spring is coming in. Take a few deep breaths, nice big inhales, nice big exhales. So from here we're going to work into the shoulders. We're going to go into a lateral raise. You're going to keep the arms palms nice and open. And what you do is lift the arms straight out into that lateral position, control them back down into the center line of the body. We're going to set ourselves. We've got a few moments. We've got 5 seconds. So in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to lift and close. Nice. Really try and spread the fingers out nice and wide. Let's really open up into those hand and finger joints. We're not holding any weights, so we don't need to clench the hands together or the fists together. Good, nice, good control. You can start to feel the burn in the outside of your shoulders. We're going to go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Excellent work, nice. Take a little moment, everybody. So this time we're going to go into some bicep curls. We're not going to go into a curl in the press. We're just going to keep it in that bicep position this time. We are going to clench the fist this time just so we can get that contraction into the bicep. We've got 5 seconds, so we'll set ourselves, we'll clench the fists, keep the top of the arms nice and tucked into the torso, and then really just curling through the biceps, lifting up through the elbow joints and extending back through the elbow. Really trying to contract into the biceps, clench those fists nice and tight. You're really squeezing into that muscle group. Good, strong work everyone, nice. Let's keep that there. And we're gonna go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff everyone, nice. Take a little moment, we're going to take 30 seconds. And from here, little cramp in the hip, happens to the best of us. We're going to take it into some crab walks or cat walks. So, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down onto our tiptoes. Knees are going to be flared out to the sides. All we're going to do is just walk out through the hands, find that range, and then walk it all the way back in. We're going to set ourselves. We're going to go in 3 seconds. So in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to slowly walk it all the way out. Find that range, walk it back in. As you start to walk it back in, really think about sinking those hips nice and low over the heels, so you can bring yourself back into that starting position. That's going to take a bit of pressure and load off the upper body. We're going to go for 1 more repetition. We're going to walk it out, walk it back in, and rest. Good work, everyone, nice. We're going to take 30 seconds. So the next movement we're going to go into a high plank position. So how that's going to work is you're going to set the hands shoulder width apart. We're just going to lift and hold in that high plank. I really need you to squeeze and engage into the glutes here. We don't need to take it down into that low plank position. We're going to set ourselves, hands come out. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Nice and static, nice and still. We're going to feel this into the arms. Keep the glutes nice and engaged. Stretching through the toes. Keep it there, everyone. Nice. Moving towards 10 seconds. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. and bring it back down. Nice, bring the knees to the floor. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to put some movement into that. So toes are hooked under, hands are out in front of us, and ultimately what we're going to do is I just want you to lift up through the knees, bend back down through the knees. So you're going to shift your shoulders forward, lift up through the knees, so you come into that plank position, and then shift it back down. We're going to set ourselves 3 seconds in 2 and 1. Shift the shoulders forward, lift the knees, replace the knees, shift the shoulders back. Shift the shoulders forward, lift through the knees, replace the knees, shift the shoulders back. Just find a nice rhythm, nice tempo that works for you here. Really working into that upper body strength, into that hip mobility, utilising the lower body, working through the core slightly. We're going to go for 2 and for 1. And rest, everyone. Nice. So the next one we're going to go into, we're going to drop the toes. And this time, we're just going to sink the glutes back towards the heels, lift it forward. I don't want you to have to hyperextend. We're just going to drop the heels back, bring it into that starting position. So your shoulders are over your wrists. We've got 5 seconds, shoulders over the wrists. 3, 2, and 1. We sink the glutes and the hips back, lift it forward. Sink the glutes and the hips back, lift it forward. So we're really just working into our mobility slightly here. Contracting into the hamstrings a little bit, lengthening through the glutes, getting a little bit of contraction through the arms in that static position. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Take a little moment. Take a bit of water on board if you wish to. We're going to come back up onto the feet just so we can move around a little bit, move around the room, just to let the blood flow through the joints and the larger muscle groups. Give the arms a bit of a shake. Feel free to give the legs a bit of a shake as well if you wish to. From here, we're going to go into some marches or lifting knees. So ultimately, I'm going to lift my right knee first. Left arm comes up. Replace. Opposite side. So imagine like you're sprinting, but in slow motion. That's what we're going for. So we'll set ourselves. We're going to go in 3, in 2, and 1. Nice and steady, nice and controlled. Really try and drive that knee up and then slowly and steady control it back down. Yeah, so here we're really working into the core in that standing position. And then just utilising the power through the arms and through the legs to bring ourselves into that final position and then control it all the way back down. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Excellent work, everybody. Nice. Take a little moment and take 30 seconds. So the next one we're going to go into a bit of a hold. So I want you to take the legs out nice and wide as you can. Try and point the feet out to 45-degree angles. And ultimately, we're just going to hold in this position for 30 seconds. You've still got 5 seconds to start to set yourself. Legs nice and wide, feet out 45-degree angles, torso nice and tall. Feel free to bring the hands onto the hips. And we're just going to hold here. This is really going to help develop the internal hip flexibility and mobility. Your adductors that run down the inside the thighs are going to be nice and lengthened. You've got a bit of a contraction into the hip flexors at the front. You've got a bit of a contraction into your glute minimus that runs around the base of the back and into the side of the hips. We're going to hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn the toes in, turn the feet in, turn the toes in, turn the feet in until you feel comfortable to come out of that position. Oh, good work, everyone. Flying through it today. Flying through it. We've got 15 seconds and we have 5 more minutes. So, the next one we're going to go into is we're going to go nice and narrow with the squat. So, we're going to bring the feet together. And I just want you to start to bend down through the knees and then lift it back up. Find that range as much as you can. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. So feet are together. Allow the hips to go back in that straight line. Start to bend through the knees and then lift it back up. By keeping the stance nice and narrow, we're shifting the emphasis more into the abductors that run down the outside of the thighs here. We're going to go 4, 5, keeping the torso nice and straight. 4, 4. 4, 3, really squeezing into the glutes at the top end. 4, 2. And 4, 1. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Working our way towards our last few exercises. So the next one we're going to go into, similar to one that we did at the start of the session, we're going into a battle ropes, but this time stance is going to come just outside shoulder width apart. We're going to set ourselves, and as we start the movement, we're going to roll into our 30 seconds. Bend down in the knees. This time, hands are going to come together and you're going to back the arms up and down together. So when we're set, when we're ready, if we're not already going, let's go for it. So again, keeping the emphasis into the lower part of the body in that static hold, working through the shoulders mainly, a bit of the triceps, a bit of the biceps, a little bit of the back. We're going to go 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Whew, increasing that heart rate slightly for the last few minutes. Take a few big deep breaths, inhale and exhale. So from here we're going to go into some lateral squats. So feet are going to come together. Also what you're going to do is you're going to step out to one side, squat down, pop it back into the centre, step out to the other side, squat down, and then bring it back into the centre. We're going to reset the timer. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. We step to the right, squat down, bring it into the centre. Step to the left, squat down, bring it back into the centre. Again, just find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. Nice and steady, nice and controlled. We've gone through a lot of movements today, really utilising the lower body to our advantage. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. And rest. Lovely stuff, everyone. Nice. Hopefully your heart rate's nice and increased, nice and warm. We've got time for 2 more exercises. So this time we're going to go into some full overhead swings with that pretend kettlebell. So just bringing the hands just below the hips and then lengthening all the way through. We're going to set ourselves, and in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Nice. So just bending through the legs, hinging through the hips slightly, swinging through the shoulders and the arms. Just increasing that heart rate a little bit before we all carry on with the rest of our day. Good work. We're going to go for 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Excellent work, everyone. 30 seconds. We're going to do one last movement. This time what we're going to do is we're going to go into like a single hand kettlebell. So one hand's going to come out to the side. We're going to swing through that one arm. We're going to do 10 repetitions. We're going to switch and then do 10 repetitions with the other side. And then we are all done for the day. Stick with me. Last little push. We're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for it. 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Let's keep that there for 7, 4, 8, 4, 9, and for 10. Nice. Take a little moment. We're going to switch to the other side. Last little push. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 5, 4, almost there, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. And rest, everyone. Good work. Excellent stuff today. Finished with increasing that heart rate a little bit. Covered a lot of the body today, put quite a lot of the emphasis in the leg today through our Tabata session. Covered a lot of different exercises. Really strong work, everyone. Hope you're feeling a little bit more energized, a little bit less stressed, and just feeling ready to tackle the rest of the day. Bring on that sunshine. Here comes summer. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll catch you soon.